I did stone work today, all these stone steps. This was a one-day project getting all these in. If you want to see how I put them in so they last year after year, decade after decade, generation after generation, stick around.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now waiting, better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything.
Hey everybody, this is Praxis, and today I'm working on some stone steps right in the ground area right here. The reason I'm working on this today is because we've got winter coming in, and whenever you have any kind of ground that has any sort of a slope to it, when it gets covered in snow and ice and stuff, it can be really difficult to walk over it. Now you can kind of shovel some steps into the snow, and that's I think what we did last year on this little slope here, but I'd like to get as much turned into actual steps and level the ground as much as I can. And I love doing this stuff with just dirt and rock because it has a permanence to it if you use large enough stones. And I'm going to talk a little bit about like what qualifies a large enough stone in this video and how I set them in a way so that they do tend to last for years on end without frost heaves destroying them. And the other thing that's great about it is that it's free. It just takes your time to do it, and you get some exercise while you're doing it. But I think so frequently people in our society just want to hire out a service from someone else. Like if they need some stairs, they pay someone to do it, or they buy they go to the hardware store and they get pressure treated stairs, and they'll kind of stick them into the ground with footings or whatever. And it's totally possible to do this kind of stuff just with crap you have lying around, dirt, rock, and things like that. So I've been working on this part this morning. This was the first one that I put in. This one extends down under the ground, at least as deep as it rises up over the ground. You got to think of these things kind of like icebergs, where the part that you see is just the tip, and the majority of them is underground, and that is what really allows the stones to not get destroyed every year. Like if I just took this stone, and if this stone was only that high right there, and I try to put it there, maybe I could kind of get it wedged in, and I could pack the dirt behind it so it would sort of stay together. But after a season, it would just kind of flop over, and it'd be ruined. So you really got to sink these things pretty deep into the ground. The next piece I'm going to be putting in is a stone right here, and this stone here I measured is 18 inches, and that's going to have a rise of about 8 inches, so I guess about 10 inches is going to be buried under the ground. And I've got a little hole going next to this one here, and at the moment the hole is 16 inches deep, which means I got to go down another couple inches. Before I get going with that, I want to talk a little bit about some of the tools that I use to do this kind of thing. Obviously, I'm holding it. I use a shovel for this kind of work. I don't have to explain why I'm using a shovel. I also use a straight rake. This is one of my favorite tools, using these guys because I'm not actually sure why. It's kind of like working like in a Zen garden, where you're smoothing things out. I just find it an enormous amount of satisfaction just kind of smoothing an area and take something that's like chaotic and bring smooth human order to it. I guess that you could definitely look at that in a negative context as well. It's like I want to dominate nature and just turn it into geometric planes. But I find a lot of satisfaction in it, and it's not like I'm doing the whole forest, just little pathways and things. So use that a lot. An axe. Why might I be using an axe? We're working with rock and dirt. The axe is for wood. Well, oftentimes when you get down into the ground, you'll find a root or something like that, and you definitely need an axe to chop through it. You have to understand when you do that, you're going to be getting dirt, and you're going to be wearing down your axe heads a lot, and it's just the nature of it. This axe here is made by Husky. I tend to like Husky tools. They seem like they hold up. I've used axes with wooden handles in the past, and they always snap on me. I don't know if there's something about the way that I do it that I'm doing it wrong, but these Husky things, I think it's like fiberglass with a rubberized outer surface, and they've got like a lifetime warranty on them. I'm not sure if that pertains to chopping things under the ground, but they seem like they're well made, and I never really even have to take advantage of the warranty. There's two more tools that I use when I'm doing this, and these are really important. Just different dimensions of little pieces of lumber, and you'll see in a little while what I'm going to be using these for, but these are critical to the idea of getting the rocks in place properly. All right, so I had to go down another couple inches. I really do enjoy the aspect of getting exercise while you're working. Today's kind of supposed to be my rest day, so I'm just trying to take it easy. So, I'm moving boulders and shoveling dirt, but I'm taking my time with it. I'm trying not to kill myself, because today is supposed to be my physical recovery day. I was working out yesterday, but I don't know, I'm not good at sitting around idle. And again, that could be one of those things you could look at in a negative way, or look at it in a positive way. All right, let's see how deep we got that. Another thing that I tend to do when I'm beginning, before I start digging into the ground, is there's some grass on the surface here, and I'll pick up the grass, just a couple inches of it. Here's a good example right here, and I'll try to get these little clods, and I'm going to be replacing these on the surface, because it takes a little while for grass to grow in a surface, so there's no sense in burying them, so I always try to take advantage of them. Okay, I didn't actually go down that deep. Got to go down a little bit more. Yeah, I used to take videos like this and kind of cut them and try to make them a little bit more entertaining, but I find nobody cares about this stuff anyway, so I'm just gonna give you the full raw uncut version of this, and I don't know, I kind of prefer that anyway because it's more real. I think people on YouTube seem to just just be looking for 20-second montages of action happening. It doesn't really teach you anything. It might be relaxing to watch it or escapist to watch it, but it doesn't really teach you how much work goes into the process of doing this stuff. I actually watched a video by a YouTube creator the other day, and he used to always talk about, and now we're going to cut to our 20-second build montage, and in this video he said it was going to be 15 seconds, so I guess people's attention span is getting even shorter. Can't even do the 20 seconds. All right, let's see what we got here. So we're aiming for 18 inches, and we got 18 inches right there. All right, so this is the stone that I chose. It's got, I'm not going to hold it up like that and talk. All right. The reason I chose this one is because it's got a nice flat base right here. It's got another one here, but that's just going to get buried anyway. I just wanted this flat base. And then this top, it's kind of perpendicular. It's sort of a flat surface there. And I'm figuring I put this right in here to continue this step over. So I'm going to drop it in. The way that I do drop them in, because that kind of compacts the soil underneath them. It gives them kind of a good footing. All right, let's see. Hopefully this hole's big enough. If not, it's a little hard to get these rocks out. Here we go. That worked. All right, cool. It just needs to kick back. Yeah, that's all right. I buy that. Whew. Right along. All right, cool. So now we're going to get into these little sticks here. These are really important, and they are used for packing the soil. Now, these aren't necessarily ideal. This one, it's an old stake, and it's from rough sawn lumber, so it's got splinters potentially all over it. I really ought to be wearing gloves, but I'm not. And this one, this might even be pressure treated. I can't tell if that's pressure treated. No, it's not. No, this one's not pressure treated. Pressure treated tends to have a greenish cast to it. I think the green in here is just algae. You can see a scrape, and it's not green on the inside. The ideal ones are if you can just get like a limb from the forest, something that's round, you can grab easy, and get a nice smooth side on it. Something about that length tends to be kind of nice because then you can get two hands on it. But these were, the reason I chose these is because they were in a pile right over here, about like 6 feet from where I'm working. So it's just me being lazy. And I'll just try not to get splinters by crossing my fingers, I guess. So what I do is I just take this and I slide it down along the edges. Let me bring you guys a little closer so you can see what I'm doing here. I just take that and I slide it down along the edges and use it to kind of pack in all the dirt. And when you pack the dirt in like that, it really it can really be quite strong. Now at the beginning, I'm just hitting in the inside edges of the hole and kind of throwing them down to the bottom, and then after that I'll start shoveling in new dirt once this gets all packed. But at the beginning, you know, there's plenty of edges that you can kind of knock in, and you got to make it wide enough for your stick to even fit down in there too. And the important areas to pack up, well, it's all important, but if you think about the force here is going to be the land trying to push down this way. It wants to rotate the rock in that direction. So if the rock wants to rotate in that direction, obviously you want to have dirt up in the front here, but you also want to have dirt way in the back, because if the rock is rotating in this direction, the bottom surface is going to want to push that way. So way back in the back there, you want to make sure you get some dirt. And that's what I'm going to do right now by grabbing some dirt. And we'll throw it in. And you don't want to do too much dirt at a time. You want to just do a little bit, and that allows you to do a good job packing it, because you can just pack it in layers. If you put in too much, you'll just pack the surface of the dirt that you threw in, and you're not going to get all the the stuff that's really deep down in there. Which, in this case, in the back especially, is really the important stuff. That's going to be the stuff that's really helping you to grab. Okay, we're going to get a little bit more dirt. You might notice some little white flecks in this dirt. That's just shavings from the chicken coop. It's not by design, they just happen to be in the pile. But if you're curious what that is, that's what that is. And I guess there is sort of a benefit to it, because it's adding some additional organic material in here. And long term, what's really going to hold this rock in place is plant roots. So you really want plant roots to be able to kind of grab and grow all around it, because that's going to be kind of like nature's rebar. Get a little bit more dirt. I haven't done much on that back side. I'm going to get a little more. You see, I kind of just wiggle the shovel side to side to have it pop off the edge of the shovel. It's a good way of just distributing it. Alright. And the reason that I have two different sizes of these things is once it gets big enough, I'm going to use this large one. But this one is more narrow for getting down into these like tight areas. But the big one is going to be able to get larger areas faster. Alright. Alright. I'll pull back a little bit. Alright. Next, what I want to do is just start kind of smoothing out this ground here, and I'm going to use the dirt from that to backfill. Again, the whole point of this is to get the ground nice and smooth. I do as much as I can with the shovel, and then I'll use a straight rake later. And I find this part of the process really enjoyable. Just, again, it's like that Zen garden kind of thing. Yeah, this is not an ideal piece of wood for this. Edges are sharp. But it was just a few feet away, and that enticed me in. Maybe you'll get to see me get a nasty ass splinter in this video. I touched on this earlier. One of the things I love best about the stone steps is that they're just going to last forever. I mean, if my great grandkids still have this house, you know, they'll still be able to use these steps, because they're not going to go anywhere, and they'll just get stronger as the roots grow around them over time. All right, let's get the straight rake in here, and this really just smooths out that whole bottom area. Got some rocks there. See if we can get them up next to the stones. That's good packing material. And every year there's always little frost heaves and things that develop. And you can just keep smoothing it out year after year with the straight rake, and things just get better over time. Which is the opposite of the way a lot of people tend to build, where you build it lasts a few years and then you got to hire the company again to come in and fix their crappy work, because it wasn't meant to last very long. The whole idea was to get you to keep coming back. All right. Cool. We got a little bit to infill here, and that, and this is looking like a good step situation. I'll move you guys again. All right. So as I was excavating, I put a lot of the dirt here, so it'll be handy for me. Also, I'm slowly kind of packing in this area, but there's some nice clay-like material, and there's some organic material in there too. So I was saving that for the top. The stuff I was pouring in earlier is some subsoil crap stuff that didn't have a lot of organic material. But having this organic material up near the top is going to help for plant growth. Because again, plant growth, that's the name of the game ultimately. Oop. I forgot to pack in along the back of this stone. Ooh, it's a huge cavity right there. All right. How's that feeling? Feel good. And I think I'm gonna have the hillside kind of slope up a little bit more on this side. No, you saw how big this one was. You can see there's no way that one's just going to fall out of there. One nice thing that you could do here, if I had more stones and if it wasn't my rest and recovery day, is be nice to have a really big stone right here, kind of to end the run of stairs right there. I'm just going to have the dirt come around and kind of half swallow that step, but that's another nice way of kind of ending a run. I got something kind of like that here with this big stone right next to this run of stairs, and this sort of ends the progression of the little mini wall, and it can be an attractive way of demonstrating your rock laying skills. All right, a little bit more, and then I think we'll wrap this video on up. I've got to fill in this hole here, and I figure I might as well do that by taking out the dirt from the next step and putting it right there. I've got some grass here. I'm going to save that grass. We'll just set it to the side over here. And most of this other stuff is just already kind of worn down anyway. There's a little bit for roots, and I'll leave it kind of closer to the surface. But I'm not going to worry about saving the clods because it's not that much for grass in there anyway. This one's got a little bit of grass right here. Sometimes if I get these little ones, put that there, I can take them and kind of shove them into the rock cracks. There's a lot of that'll grow right back. Ooh, you get a grub right here. I'll give that to the chickens. Chickens! Maybe they'll find it later. And just packing it by foot is a great way to do it too. And over time, this is going to naturally continue to get packed by feet as people use it. And you may find that you need to put a little bit more dirt in later on for that reason. I'm going to save some more of this grass. A lot of people will say I didn't get enough of the roots there, and maybe so, but even if the grass doesn't survive, the organic material's there, and that will, that will be helpful for whoever decides to grow there next. All right, there we go. And I think the next step is just a straight rake, and I'll be moving up for another step. One thing that I tend to do when I put my grass down is I won't hesitate to cover it in a little layer of dirt afterwards. And that'll do a couple of things. It'll protect the grass because you damage the roots and you don't want it drying out in the sun. And it'll also just kind of thicken things up so that over time you can get a little bit more mass on the top. There we go. Stone there. All right, so the bits of grass that I pulled, I'm going to stick them in here. I'm going to rough that up a little more though, so the roots can get in there. All right, so let's get some of these bits of grass. I've got a few right here. And that one, it can overhang the rock a little bit. It'll kind of bind the rock right in there. There's another one. And this. And the way I get these guys down is just stomp on them. Stomp in the middle and then kind of stomp on the edges. Trying to mush them down. And again, if I'm going to cover these guys up in dirt later, it'll fill in a lot of the cracks. Get some of the dirt in there. Well, that feels good. Step number one, a little lumpy on the top, but as I work on the other steps, I'm going to keep standing on this, stomping it down as I work, and then at the end I'll give it kind of a final pass. So let's take a look at what we did here. So you can see this right here was a stone we were setting in. You can see how little of it you can really see. Most of it's under the ground, providing structure. And we got one whole step across there. And the next step I'm going to be working on is one kind of up in this area. And I think that is what this rock here is going to be used for. And I chose this rock because it's got this nice straight top right there. And it's pretty thin if you look at it from the side. Still, it's pretty heavy to move here. But I think that'll work as a good step. And where we have this little groove in here, this will face towards the dirt, so the dirt will come in and fill all this, and that'll act as extra grip when the roots start getting into all these cracks right there. That's it. Hope you found this video fun, enjoyable, relaxing, informative, and time-consuming. Thanks for watching. Hey YouTube preppers, here's another video that you might enjoy. But before you click on it, I wanted to take a moment to thank all the people you see listed on the screen. They help to support the work that I do here over at patreon.com. If you'd like to join them and have your name added to that list, the link's below.